Welcome to the Teaching Tax Flow Home Office Deduction mini lesson. This is a mini lesson that has a ton of content, so you might want to pause the mini lesson and take some notes or have it open on a separate monitor when you're in the Teaching Tax Flow ecosystem. I'm excited to give you this content, and what this is really talking about is, do you have a qualified area in your home that you can deduct as an offset your income? So let's take a look at our agenda. We're going to talk through the IRS home office qualifications. So the first step is, hey, figure out if you have a qualified home office. If you do, there are two methods to take that deduction, simplified or actual. You're allowed to take whichever one works best for you. Then we're going to talk through that IRS reporting and then our calls to action. Now, home office deduction is a big subject matter within the Teaching Tax Flow ecosystem in the tax world in general. The IRS did create a whole separate publication to discuss that. That's publication 587. You're looking at the first page of the publication on the left-hand side. And in that publication, there's a figure A. Figure A is on the right-hand side of your monitor. And what figure A is doing is it really guides you through the decision tree to determine, do you have a qualified home office and can you take that deduction? The genesis of figure A is to determine if you have regular and exclusive use of space, and is that office space your principal place of business? So you could see here on the monitor, I'm not going to read through it. What the IRS says is regular use in their publication, exclusive use in their publication. Remember, you have to hit both of those, and then it has to be your principal place of business. Now, there are some exceptions, obviously, but really look at these rules and figure out, do you think you have regular and exclusive use? And is that space your principal place of business? Remember, it doesn't have to be your only place of business. It just has to be your principal place. You could have more than one business location. You could see right here on the right-hand side. So let's assume you could take the home office deduction per publication 586. Then what happens is you determine, do I want to go with the simplified or actual? Simplified, again, that one is going to really reduce your audit risk, although we're not too concerned if you have a qualified home office about audit risk. Well, with simplified, it's really easy. You take your square footage of your home, you take your square footage of the home office, you take the square footage of your home office, multiply that by $5, and that's your home office deduction. It does max at $1,500. Actual is you're taking different expenses. You're taking the square footage of your home office, divided that into the square footage of your home, you have a percentage, and you apply that to your indirect expenses. Indirect expenses are going to be your mortgage, interest, or rent, property taxes, insurance, utilities. Those are typical HOA fee, indirect expenses. You might have some direct home office expenses as well. You might have a situation where you have a separately metered space, or you have internet that's specifically for your home office. So you really run the numbers and figure out, is simplified or actual better? Now, if you do take actual, you're going to have to take a depreciation deduction for a portion of your home. We have a calculator in Teaching Tax Flow that allows you to determine which method is best. If the actual expense method is just a touch better than simplified, you might choose to just take the simplified because of the time and record keeping involved with the actual expense. Now, the home office deduction is reported, I'm going to show you right here, on Form 8829 of your tax return. So that 8825, and there are special rules that apply for corporations, daycare providers, and separate structures. The other thing to consider is that a home office deduction cannot create a loss. So if your business has a loss, so you're Schedule C and you have the home office deduction, you don't lose those deductions, but if you use the actual expense method, those deductions will carry forward. So you can't increase the loss on a Schedule C with the home office deduction. But really look at that simplified versus actual. The aforementioned Form 8829 is right here, expenses for business use of your home, and you could see how you have indirect expenses here and direct expenses here. This is really utilized when you use this section here, the actual method. There are special rules for daycare facilities because with a daycare facility, you're actually using your home and housing children or potentially mature age people in your home. So definitely be aware if you have a daycare facility that there are some special. All right, calls to action. If you have home office, figure out if you're eligible to deduct those expenses. In general, employees are not eligible in the federal return. If you're eligible to deduct these expenses, figure out actual or simplified. Remember, if you're a member of an LLC or if you're a partner of a partnership, you can still be eligible for the home office deduction. You don't have to be self-employed. Look at your tax returns and look if you have a 8829, which is that home office deduction. We see a lot of missed deduction. So for instance, if you had a loss on your business, you had a home office deduction that you couldn't utilize and it carried forward, make sure that if you're looking at your tax return, to make sure those losses carry forward if you have excess deductions. Remember, those special rules exist for daycare providers. Remember, new equipment is eligible even if it's in a home office for Section 179 depreciation. We have a whole separate mini lesson on that Section 179 deduction. But if you have personal property that you convert, like a computer that you use personally and you convert it to business use, you can still deduct that as a home office deduction, but it's not eligible for that bonus or that Section 179 deduction. And make sure you use our Teaching Tax Flow home office deduction calculator. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day.
John here from Teaching Tax Flow. I wanted to thank you for watching this video. We literally have hundreds of hours of content between podcasts, webinars, videos just like this built specifically for you, the taxpayer. Whether you're a full-time employee, you're a freelancer, you're a contractor in some other sense, or you're thinking about getting into business for yourself, everything here at Teaching Tax Flow is perfect for you, basically going off of the roadmap provided by the IRS to legally and ethically reduce the taxes paid over your lifetime. So be sure to subscribe to this channel and connect with Teaching Tax Flow, and we will see everybody very soon.